Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick equipment guide, try to do one for you guys. So this would be what you would look like early game. So this is the Holy Beast. You can get the whole set, the whole ultimate set. I didn't upgrade it. My opinion is not really worth upgrading, but obviously if you feel like you're gonna be there for a while, then yeah, it's not too expensive. I think it's, I want to say 1 tera per upgrade. But you're gonna need backup chips and such. This is a quest, through a quest doing Holy Beasts. I want to say there's a special quest, Holy Beast Easy? No, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. I did it once. I only did it for this piece right here, which is 10% skill damage, which, you know, early game, that's really good. Obviously it's gonna be, even for end game, that's still one of the, you know, a really good piece to use. So that would be good, just getting you started in the game, getting this Holy Beast set. Now, currently, right now, there is an event to get you soccer uniform. This is the second one. I'm close to finishing it. Now, this ID and this aura, and along with the Zai, come from getting the membership, which is $10. I would recommend it. Not only does it give you, you know, shop, so you can put up to 10 items, 5 extra items, gives you the aura, gives you the Zai, and the magnetic ID. It also gives you 500% XP boost. It gives you jumps, unlimited jumps, boosters, and you can look at your shop from, you could buy anything from anywhere. As far as accessories, these are the accessories that you're going to want to get. These are very cheap, I'd say 500 mega to 1 tera each. The biggest cost is going to be the option change stones to try to roll them, right? Now, as you can see, these are rolled. I got lucky on some of these to get these stats. This one's not perfect, and this one is perfect, I think. Yeah, so this is kind of like the stats you're going to want for these accessories. I made a spreadsheet. This is my spreadsheet for the stats that you want, right, for early on. This is the Holy Beast. We'll go with the Holy Beast, what I'm wearing currently. Obviously, you can substitute Arena Ring for Miracle Ring. It's the same thing. Granted, Arena Ring does get hit rate and crit damage, right? So it is better, but generally the same thing. So Holy Beast, you're gonna want the double attribute with the double crit damage. It's just hands down gonna be better for you even early game, because I think the best you could do is that, I want to say 300 or 400 attack on it, which isn't going to be much. It's not going to be much. It's not going to help you out that much. So crit damage times 2, which is going to be huge for the necklace. Again, basic attribute times 2, crit damage, and the attack speed. The basic attribute and the attack speed is a must. Now you could have, again, you can substitute the crit damage with the attack, but these two stats are a must, so do your best to, you know, just try to get them. Again, the biggest challenge in doing this is going to be obtaining option change stones early game. I understand it's difficult, but there's a lot of events that do give them out, you know, so make sure to do your daily events, your dailies, weeklies, and such, and you'll accumulate a good amount. But at the same time, don't go on wasting them trying to get these god rolls, right? I'm just saying, this is generally what a god roll would look like, especially on these stats, on these accessories. Don't even waste them that much. You want to save it. You want to save your option stones for the later pieces of equipment, right? Those are gonna be the ones that you're gonna have a much longer than these. So don't even worry, but just try your best to get sort of a god roll and then move on. You know, save them. Royal Knight X break. You want attack times 2, crit damage times 2, and crit percent. Now, this is also basing on you guys having no seals at this point in the game, right? No seals at all, and you're just gonna want to do pure skill damage. But also the hit rate requirements are almost non-existent for the most part, up until you go to Holy Beast dungeons, you know, like hard mode. That's when kind of you know, expected to have a good amount of hit rate and such. But even then, say you go into like Royal Base Heart, for example, you're just gonna want to do pure scan. You're gonna run pure skill damage throughout, even all the way to end game, unless you decide to do a full hit crit build, which is extremely expensive, because you're gonna need to get the seals, you're gonna need to get god rolls and your accessories to make up for that, you know, like to try to get hit rate or some attack. But it is very expensive to go full hit crit. Now, Arena Ring / Miracle, you want the basic times 2, attack times 2, and obviously this would be substituted for a crit percent, as you saw on my Miracle Ring, but for the Arena, you want a crit damage. You could also substitute 1 attack for hit if you absolutely want that and or need it. Now, the goggles. These come from a quest. They used to be so difficult to get. Some people had a lot of trouble getting god roll what I mean is the trinity, you know, the attack, crit crit, and hit were the top 3 and the only ones that even mattered. Now with the, I think it takes 2 weeks as well, do our royal base normal, and once you complete that quest, it lets you pick one set of goggles with whatever, you know, these double god roll stats. I would highly recommend for you guys to go attack. Obviously, any other goggles moving forward, you're gonna have to gamba for them, the old school method, but they made it so at least you get one pair of goggles for free. Upgrading them is another thing. They actually added an option, which is the cheaper option. All right, guys, so this is the upgrade method of RBH for the goggles. So first method's gonna be, as you can see, the most Terra and requires 20 per upgrade, at least at this point, right? But it's the most expensive and the one I would say it's not worth doing anymore. Just do option 2 or 3 depending on your Terra and just what you prefer. So as you go to option 2, you'll see it's way more cost effective, way cheaper, but it requires twice the amount of items to upgrade each level. But I mean, that's fine. Look how much cheaper. I'd say this option's fine. The last option being totally free to play, no Terra at all, but as you can see, it's double what option 2 was, so it'll take you a little bit longer to get those upgraded. So I'd say option 2 would be your best option. Honestly, it's not so bad, Terra, but obviously this might add up. These last like 3 options might add up a little bit if you just have bad RNG with the upgrade. But like I said, this would only matter for your final. So yeah, honestly, if I were you guys, I would go option 2, but it does get a little pricey at the end. So maybe for like the last 3 options, you could probably go to levels, I should say. You could go to the last option 3. You could do it that way too. It doesn't matter. Like if you start here, you could do any upgrade path, and it'll be just fine. Mix and match is what I did. Honestly, when I was at this point. All right, now this is where you're approaching the mid game, the lower mid game point of the game. Now, I don't have the hazard accessories, but these are essentially the same thing. The only difference being hazard accessories have max values, meaning these where, you know, you see the crit damage isn't perfect. It's 0.58, whatever. The hazards would be perfect. It's mid-maxing, right? If you are huge into mid-maxing, then yeah, hazards are the way to go, obviously, but also miracle accessories are through the cash shop. So essentially, I think a box of hazard costs like 2,000 Terra. 2 things with these though. Hazard is better in the senses, obviously mid-maxing, and it lets you get, and as you can see for these, depending on what accessories you have, it'll be less chimera items, so you get it faster, right? 0, I still think hazard is probably the best middle ground, because these accessories, you're gonna be spending like 3 to 5k, at least on alpha, just to get it slightly faster. So this one no one really does anymore, not worth it, so disregard this one. But unless you already have it. And obviously hazard here is just 50 more aura, while the hazard being, I want to say, just under 1,000, you know, per piece. Because the box itself is 2k, so each piece is probably like 200-300. So yeah, unless you absolutely can, you know, you want to just rush it, yeah, that's still gonna cost you, you know, 3 to 5k Terra, depending on the server. As you get lower, it costs more and more. It takes you longer, and it also costs more Terra. So miracle being that, and if you have nothing, if you have no accessories, it's gonna cost you 500 Terra and 250 aura. I'm keeping this the same. Susano Vice is much easier to get as well. They added Susano Easy Dungeon, and it gives you the item necessary to craft a Susano Vice. So you're actually able to craft multiple now instead of having to buy. You used to have to buy a box that people would get from Gamba, and I think those cost anywhere from 1.5 to 3,000 Terra just to get an extra Susano Vice. You're still gonna want these. There's also a quest, before I forget, there's also a quest that gives you, I think you have to finish the main story. It gives you a quest that lets you pick any Digivice, any crest. It doesn't matter what crest you pick, but you can actually, you know, pick whichever one you prefer, and it's nice if you want like the courage one like myself, or friendship, whatever is your favorite, it will let you pick. Now, ID, I changed to this. Granted, you want it to be level 10. You get it from the shop. As you see here, I would say it costs anywhere from $30 to $50 to get it to level 10, depending on your RNG luck. That's how much it's going to cost you. Or they have free to play method. This is why I have this window open. you're gonna want, you can grind for this. Granted, it takes 500 arena hard coins to obtain one of these. Are perma, but it takes 500 to get them. But these are essentially, this is essentially the same stat in terms of skill damage as a level 10 magnetic ID of this kind. But this one will obviously turn into a 15 if you're able to get to that point, and it's going to be your end game slot for the time being. Arena Ring is easy to get now, much easier, much faster. Granted, it's only one, right? This quest is only good for one, but it's still nonetheless good. It takes 2 weeks to get, so each week you're going to get a climber emblem getting through the quest, and you're only going to need 50 arena coins now instead of the 1,000 it used to ask you for. Now, if you want more than one, yeah, you're going to need the 1,000, but you know, it's only going to be 50. The Yoli set is much cheaper to upgrade these days. So you're going to get Yoli set through MDG, Black Metal Greymon Dungeon. It's a lot cheaper to upgrade. I think it's 1 Tera per upgrade up until level 10. And that's all you really need to get it. You don't need to bother getting it more because they have added a new gear set called the Frontier set that power crept this to hell. So, you just get it to 10. That's all you needed to get it to. And that's good enough till, literally you reach the end game. So don't even worry about it. The biggest drawback of the Yoli set is the proc rate. Now, this tells you it's 50%. I mean, you can ask anyone that plays this game, has played it a while. It feels more like 25%. The proc rate is terrible. But nonetheless, it's still going to be the best option up until you get your Frontier set. Now, for Miracle and Hazard, it's going to be the same thing. The only thing that's going to change is the values. What I mean by that is it's going to give you more basic attribute, more crit damage, more attack and such. But more or less, you're going to want generally the same thing. You're going to want basic attribute times 2 on your earring, crit damage times 2, and attack. Again, try your best to get something similar to this, as close as you can. For sure, you're going to want the basic attribute. You're always going to want the basic attribute on these accessories. The only ones that don't have basic attribute are the bracelets. So for your necklace, basic attribute times 2, attack speed. You're always going to want the attack speed on the necklace. Crit damage and attack. Now for the Miracle bracelet, again, unfortunately there is no hazard bracelet. So you're going to have to get a Miracle bracelet and or a Zero bracelet, but Zero bracelets are like 4 to 5k. Granted, on Alpha. On Omega, that might be cheaper, but they are quite expensive. So there is no real free-to-play method, I'd say, unless you are very good at flipping money in Terra in the market and making Terra that way, and or, just getting money through your weeklies and such. But Miracle bracelet would be your cheapest option still. Attack times 2, crit damage times 2, and crit percent. I only put the crit percent because it lets you kind of play around with your build. It gives you that extra crit percent that you might need. But granted, again, this is for lower level accounts where you're just not gonna have the seals. So you're gonna want to do a pure skill damage build, and obviously what's gonna help your skill damage? Attack. Hit. If you manage to get in the Miracle bracelet, then you're gonna want to switch the attack for hit, and you can substitute the crit for attack to kind of keep that attack going, right? Crit damage is, I'd say, now this is kind of what a upper mid game account is gonna look like. Still not quite, more like a middle of the pack account, right? So the upgrades being obviously the accessories. Once you have your accessories, you have the Armageddon necklace, the CDGN. So here you're gonna have the upgrade being the 10%. If you manage to get a 10% costume. Now these cost around, I want to say 4 to 6k Terra. Also depending on the tamer, because the more popular the tamer, the more they cost, right? Tai being one of the more popular ones, Hikari being another one. Those are, Mimi being another one. Those are generally just going to be the most expensive. Granted, they're still expensive regardless, but the more popular they are, the higher the price. Now, obviously, you're going to get your Vital from Gulus, you're going to have your Arena Ring, you're going to have a level 10. Now, say level 10. Free-to-play method, just wait, I want to say 2 months. I could be wrong. 2 months to get the knives, save up the knives to be able to craft a box, a couple boxes, to be able to upgrade your Ghost Ring to level 10. Price being, if you want to buy it outright, to upgrade it to level 10, I want to say it's going to be like 2k Terra, 2 to 2.5, depending on your luck, to buy the boxes and then upgrade it to 10. Now, this Zai, has been given out in packages at, I want to say, 500 crowns, $50. Perma, it is the third best Zai, right behind, obviously, the Digital Monster X and then the completed Digital Monster X. So this is a very solid option for you guys. And it also gives you more crystals, so that lets your X Digimon stay out longer. Obviously getting this 15 would be endgame, but yeah, getting this to 10 is good. Each accessory here, all these are all improvements, and I can show you the spreadsheet. Now, these would be the go-to god rolls for these. Now, these are what you would save your option chase stones for. This is what you want to save them for, because these are going to be the accessories you're going to have for quite a bit up until obviously they get power creep, which could be, you know, soon, probably not, but still, these are the ones you're gonna have for a long time. Brilliant earring, you're gonna want double. Again, I can preface by saying this is my opinion, this is what I feel like is a god roll, and this just works for me. Basic attribute times 2, skill damage, crit damage times 2. Now for your guys' account, this is for me, this is like an end game, right? A god roll. For your guys' account, I would highly recommend you going for tier 3. The HP percent and the hit rate. Why? Because when you guys reach Baleo, you're going to want as much HP as you can get, and the hit rate is only going to help you to be able to hit Arukenimon. At level 170, you're going to want at least 30k hit rate to be able to hit her. Some people say it's like 29k they're able to hit her still, but to reliably hit her and not miss, it's like 30k at level 170. Now, this is a god roll. If you want to play it more safe, you could substitute 1 crit damage for HP and still get the other crit damage. For Miracle Neck, basic attribute and speed, like I said, are a must. Attack percent adds as much as 4k attack. It's quite a bit. Crit damage, you can, again, you can substitute the crit damage for the HP if you need it for Baleo, which is going to be likely, right? So you guys want to go for the tier 2, meaning all this, and then you just switch out the crit damage for HP. So for Vital, you're going to want to do final and skill damage, right? That's a must, just too good to not get. And you could do, for my honest opinion, for lower level accounts, I would go skill and attack times 2, just for pure skill damage. For Baleo, I would go with hit rate times 2 and probably HP percent. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I should substitute this for HP percent. This is for like you guys, for the Baleo to be able to hit Arukeni, you're gonna want this. For pure raw damage, where you don't really need the hit rate, then it's gonna be this. For an endgame account, you're gonna want this option. These two work just fine, but this one being the best in my honest opinion. Crit damage times 2 with attack, just gonna be the most the best damage output. Now, once you get to Baleo and you get his ear and you get his ring, you're gonna want the basic attribute times 2, crit damage times 2, and hit rate. That is the best. That, again, assuming you full hit crit, this is the best raw damage output. If you really want to play it safe, you could go for hit times 2 and only get 1 crit damage, which is just fine. That still works, because the hit rate, it gives you 4k. So with this, you would have 8k hit rate. Some people just want that, right? You can also, obviously it takes 3 months to get a Baleo ring. That's how long it takes you, on top of needing to upgrade the goggles, which I'll come to right now. But again, if you don't really care, if you're full pure skill damage build, then do attack times 2 and skill. That works as well. Now, also the thing about skill, which I didn't really mention, was at least for the Vital, if you're doing attack versus skill, now we're not talking about skill damage, just regular skill. Skill comes out on top over the attack, because it gives you like 5k skill and you get 3k attack. Because the skill is that much higher, the only problem being, if you're running a full hit crit build, attack will come on top for obvious reasons, right? Because it'll also benefit your normal hits. But skill comes out on top because it's 2,000 more, at least on the Vital. It's 2,000 more stat than the attack. And that, I've tested it, it does come out on top. But that, I mean, if you're full skill damage, this is gonna be what you want. The final skill plus skill and attack times 2. Now, goggles. Endgame accounts, probably all go for the crit. Crit is just too good. It gives you so much crit, it's actually ridiculous. Attack would be the best option. The second best option, probably the best option for a lot of people too, though, because it gives you a good amount of attack. And I believe you get 20% skill damage with maxed out goggles with these. So it's 10% more than the RBH ones. So alright guys, so this is what an endgame gear is going to look like once you reach this point. It's you know, map 15 ghost ring, 15 magnetic, and then the new advanced costume, which is out currently. So if you guys are able to, if you guys swipe, yeah, I would recommend it. It is the best in slot for suits, and it's really nice. Completed Digital Monster X, the Eos Vice and the Aura goggles. I have not finished them, unfortunately. I just had bad luck. RNG is so bad. And as well as the Frontier set, right? That's what I went over you guys in the other video. You're gonna want at least 3 out of 4 of the positive stats: crit damage, 3 crit damage, 3 basic, 3 skill damage, 3 final. And here I went with 2 attack, because attack isn't, I'm still getting like 3k attack from this percent. But I'd rather go, I mean, granted, this is what I rolled, right? So I just kept it because it never hurts to have more crit and block as well, especially since I tank from my guild. All right, guys, so that is my equipment guide. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. I just put this together really quick. I'm looking into doing more guides, either dungeons or fights and so on. I'm gonna try to upload 1 to 2, at least 1 Digimon video a week, because I'm working on doing other playthroughs like 007. I'm still working on that, so finishing it, deciding on what other games to play and such. But I appreciate all the support you guys have given me in my videos. I really do. It does motivate me to keep doing this. And yeah, so I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care, everyone.